2,000 feet of elevation change and a peak of 6,650. An ever-changing variety of wildflower and wildlife through 4 seasons. Arguably the pinnacle of casual hiking in the Pacific Northwest. Take a dip in nearby Rainy Lake for a post-hike cool-down after conquering Maple Pass Loop. Trail showcasing views of Davis Peak, Snowfield Peak, and Ross Dam. A 7.2-mile round trip in and out with little elevation change. Don't let the name fool you, and admire glacial blue reflection from the waters 1,400 feet below on Diablo Lake Trail. fancy shit. Alright, yo, what's up? And welcome to the second half of the video. From here on out, I'm going to break down kind of how I did things and some things that I learned along the way, and maybe some pointers for you guys that can help you have a better time on your visit to the North Cascade National Park. Holy smokes! I mean, this is my first time to the Northern Cascades, I think. Maybe I went there with my family when I was younger, but it was just everything and more that it was built up to be for me. My friends and like whatever I was looking at on the internet made it look pretty dope. That's why I went in the first place. And then to actually get there and get out, especially on these two trails, like the Maple Pass Loop, as well as Diablo Lake Trail, are two like kind of introductory trails or introductory hikes to do for your first time or second time or repeat time getting out to the North Cascades. Yeah, I don't think I've had as much fun just being outdoors like this one. After living so long in Japan, this was like my first real experience out in basically America, or like not in Japan, hiking around and exploring the area. So yeah, it shot straight to the top, and now I've got the fever to get back out there again, and I will. And there's a few other loops to do, a few other trails to do, but let's start with one thing. It's pretty pumped and packed. It's pretty packed out there for campers year round, so I was able to kind of shift my schedule in that I went on a Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And the reason I went Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is because everything else was blocked out. Even months ago when I looked, everything else was blocked. And there's only so many campsites along the main highway there. And so to get anything, either you got to be flexible or you got to really book it in advance. If you don't, SOL. Now, when I was driving up there though, and I was kind of just taking it all in, I noticed campsite, truck, tent, like parked, not on the side of the road. It's a one-way highway, so you cannot do that. It's pretty dangerous for you anyways, so you wouldn't want to do it in the first place. But on turnoffs and, parking lots to trailheads, plenty of people are parking. There's Sprinter vans all over the place. Who knows what's going on in there? But, that might be the way to do it if you don't want to spend $24 on a campsite, which is what I did. Got a campsite. Colonial Creek campsite is kind of smack dab in the middle, and it was good. It was great. It's campsite. It was full, like I was saying before, but for a last minute booking, and to have that kind of location right in the middle of things, I don't know, it worked out pretty good. So Colonial Creek has facilities. It's got fresh water. You don't need to filter it. If you do get water from any of the various lakes, Ross Lake, Diablo Lake, or just from the old creek, you're going to want to bring a filter. I brought a Sawyer squeeze, and I hadn't used it in a long time, so I think it just I didn't take care of it. My bad. I didn't take care of it. My bad. And so I was a little bit limited to having I was limited to just the water at the campsite, which is cool. Just got a couple 2-gallon jugs of plastic jugs from Safeway, and then filled them up as I needed to. So I would recommend that place. It's there's swimming all around there. There's trailheads that are smack dab in the middle. In fact, I was looking at so there's signs all over the place of trails in the area, and I'm out there looking where to go and to plan my afternoon hike after the Maple Pass Loop. And I'm looking at the board. It's got trails, do this, see that. I go, great, let's do a couple miles and then get back to camp, cook some dinner. The guy came up, and I could smell him coming before I could see him. You know what I mean? Like a mountain guy. I could smell him coming before I could see him. And I thought, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. If you ever meet somebody that smells like the bee is so full of O, it's like, where did this guy come from? You know what I mean? And so he came up, we talked, I recognized the BO. The BO lingered, man. Usually the O follows the B, but when the B left, the O stayed. And but that's cool. He taught me a few different hikes to do, like up on the top side of Mount Baker. Yeah, sure, Rainier is fine and all, but Mount Baker's got, 1,000 times less people, and it's just as fun, he said. So the Hegeman Trail is something that he suggested to check out. I'm sure you've been there before. Is it what it's all cracked up to be? I don't know. I'm gonna check it out though. If there's hikes that you might think are better or as good as the Hegeman Trail, give me a shout out. I would love to check it out as we kind of wind up through summer and the end of the 2020 season here. But first things first, like a few mistakes that I made. I brought enough food, great, and boy did I get sick of instant mashed potatoes and instant rices. Oh, the instant rices are just slop if you don't know how to cook it properly, which I apparently didn't, because I did it 2 nights in a row, and it's just mush, or it's just crap food, that too. But it was calories, and that's why I got it, so that's all good. That took care of what it needed to take care of. So I would have probably put a little more timing into the food. These are probably things that you guys already know, and so you're probably saying, hey, just cut to the chase. Now, what are some real things? I already know this. I'm not a beginner. And here's another beginner one. I haven't hiked in Japan or in America in 7 years, so like I forgot about how many mosquitoes are out here, and just bugs and things flying around and whizzing past your ear. And I was up, top to tail. Is that what it? Top to tail? Head to toe, just covered in bug bites by the end of the first hour. I drove straight to Maple Pass Loop, and then getting off into the parking lot, it was instant, just instantly attacked. Oh, can't snap right now. It was instant attack, and I was just excited to be there, so I didn't care too much. But mistake number 1, no bug spray or no bug repellent, so make sure to do that. Maple Loop, though, there's not too much you need to be concerned of. I would recommend, if you're going to do Maple Pass Loop, to go around counterclockwise. I guess you get a little bit better view of the caps and the snows and some of the view down to Ann Lake below if you're going that way. Not saying that clockwise is bad, but most people do counterclockwise. They say that's the way to do it. So that's what I did. Took about 4 or 5 hours with filming and stopping and taking breaks to enjoy the scenery. And it's about 7.2 miles later. Back down at the bottom, though, is a little side trail that you can take toward Rainy Lake. And do that because after a nice long hike up top, you're going to want to jump in the lake. You can, and it's fresh. You can hike in this lake. People were fishing in it. People were swimming. One guy brought an inner tube, an inflatable donut, and like he was on spring break, just kind of paddling backwards, giving shout out to his buddies on the houseboats there on Lake Shasta, and yeah, he was having a good time. It's like that scene from Happy Gilmore. Smiley, yeah, that's basically what was his vibe. But the hike itself is elite. It's peak of what you're gonna find over in the Northern Cascades. So make sure that's on your list. Day 2, I kicked it over to Diablo Lake Trail, which was just on the other side of my campsite. So I got up around 6, was out there by 7. There's a parking lot there. It took 5 minutes to get there. And again, this is like 7 miles in and out. No mistakes here. There's a lot less bugs too. And another great thing about it is if you get to the end, and this is what I wish I did do, was once you get to the end of Diablo Lake Trail, you can take a ferry back down the water to the Learning Center, which is the start of the trail, which is near Diablo Lake Dam, where you can, I guess, learn shit. But also, you can just take a ferry down there, so you don't have to walk all the way back if you want. It's $10, cash only, but you get to kick it. You can float right down on the old glacier blue waters. Pretty cool stuff. So I would have done that if I knew about it beforehand. The only reason I learned about it is because those people I was talking on the bridge, they like told me, "Oh, well, are you going to the suspension bridge? Are you taking the ferry back?" And I just tried to play it cool, like I knew what I was talking about or knew what I was doing, but I did not, and I wish I did, because I would have taken the ferry back. But this is wow, yeah, for something done in on a week or two notice, where I just decided to go up and do it, to get a campsite, to have a place to stay, food all prepared, and it's just a 3-hour trip, from Seattle Center here, right next to the old Space Needle. If you kick it back up like I-5 and then just head east, there's only one highway that runs through it. I was actually able to get some drone footage, because the first hike that I did, the Maple Pass, was just outside of the national park boundary line. You can take off from there, of course, keep things under 400 meters or 400 feet. But yeah, you can get the bird up there just because it's outside of the borderline. So if you're into that stuff, do it. There wasn't a lot of people taking video. It kind of looked like I was the only one, so people were stopping. And that's another thing, is everyone out here seemed like they wanted to say something. What are you doing? Hey, what's going on? What's with the camera? What do you think it's a camera. There's like 2 things you do with the camera. And so they were, interested in that, which was kind of fun. But it seemed like every person I passed or met, like, it was a stop and chat. It was a stop and chat. In Japan, it's a konnichiwa. In here, it's a stop and chat. So maybe that ate up a little bit of time too, and you factor that into your plan as you're making your way through the Northern Cascades. So I hope you enjoyed it all. I mean, this was just absolutely the best hike I think I've been on, minus the Nakasendo back in November. And I'm looking forward to going up again. So if there's trails out in the Northern Cascades that you recommend that I do, or that you've done and put them on your list as cannot miss, let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to get out there and just experience all of that Northern Cascade world. It's endless. There's a lot to check out. I'm thinking that there's a section that runs along with the PCT that I'm gonna check out next time I'm up there, as well as the Cascade Pass, which is kind of the the name brand hike of the Northern Cascades. But for now, I've already got things in the works to check out Olympic National Park, which is west of me rather than east as the Northern Cascades were, and making my way through the 3 national parks of Washington here. So by the end of the month, or by the end of the hiking season, I'll be able to hit all 3. The remaining third is Rainier. No surprises there. So thanks so much for joining in. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something, and get pumped and excited to get out and enjoy nature just as I did. And yeah, it's just awesome. It's so much fun. So if this was enjoyable to you, beneficial, if you learned something, make sure to subscribe so that you can get all of the new videos as they come out. Share it with a friend, family, coworker, people that are outdoorsy types, wilderness folk. You've got some friends that love the outdoors if they've got BO. Am I right? If they've got BO, and they'll follow you around. What? So yeah, thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Peace.